The first sound I remember is not my mother's voice. It is the sound of iron dragged across sand. I am an old man now. My hands shake when I hold a cup. My eyes are weak, but my memory is sharp. Some memories refuse to die. They sit inside you and wait for silence. When the night grows quiet, they speak. I was born near the water, where the river bends before it meets the sea. Today, people call this land Nigeria. Back then, it had no such name. It was just villages, farms, forests, and families who believed tomorrow would look like today. I believed that too. My father was a fisherman. My mother traded dried fish and palm oil. In the evenings, we sat outside and listened to elders talk about wars far away, about kings in places like Oyo, Benin, and Bornu. Those stories felt distant, like thunder heard from another land. I did not know that history was already working toward us. The night everything changed was quiet. Too quiet. Even the crickets were silent. Before the moon reached the center of the sky, dogs began to bark. Then came shouting. Then fire. Men rushed into our village. Some wore strange clothes. Some wore the same clothes as us. That was the part that broke my heart. I recognized faces. People who had shared food with us now held ropes. They dragged us out. Old people. Children. Mothers. Fathers. Anyone who tried to run was beaten. Anyone who cried too loud was silenced. My mother held my hand so tight I felt pain. Then a man struck her with the back of his gun. She fell. Our hands separated. That was the last time I touched her skin. I screamed her name. A blow came to my head. The ground turned black. When I woke up, my hands were tied. My feet were tied. My village was gone. They marched us for days. Maybe weeks. Time lost meaning. The sun burned our skin. Hunger ate our strength. Some people fell and never stood again. No one stopped to help them. Life had become cheap. That was when I learned the truth elders never told us fully. Slavery had been in our land long before this. Kings had taken prisoners in war. Some people were forced to work to pay debts. It was cruel, but it had limits. Then the ships came. White men arrived from the sea many years before my birth. The Portuguese first. Then others. British. French. Dutch. They did not start the taking, but they changed it. They made it endless. They made it greedy. They paid with guns, cloth, and alcohol. And some of our own leaders agreed. People stopped being people. We became numbers. When we reached the coast, I smelled the sea for the first time. I thought it would bring peace. It did not. It brought fear. Badagry. I remember that name like a wound. Long sheds filled with bodies. The air was thick with sweat and sickness. They called the rooms barracoons. To me, they felt like graves where the dead still breathed. White men walked among us, touching arms, opening mouths, checking teeth. African middlemen argued prices. They spoke calmly, as if discussing yams. At night, cries filled the darkness. Some prayed to God. Some called their ancestors. Some lost their minds and laughed. I watched a boy my age stop breathing beside me. By morning, his body was dragged away like waste. That was when I understood, this was not punishment. This was business. We were told we would cross the water. That the journey would change everything. I had seen the ships. Huge wooden monsters sitting on the sea. I was sure no one could survive inside them. The day they began to move us toward the shore, thunder broke across the water. Not from the sky, but from guns. Chaos followed. Shouting. Running. British warships had arrived. I did not know then that in 1807, Britain had made a law to end the slave trade. I did not know about men like William Wilberforce who fought with words instead of guns. I only knew that the chains on my wrists were cut. Some traders were arrested. Some ran. Some returned to trading later in secret. Slavery does not die easily. I was taken inland with others who had been freed. Many of us were resettled. Some went to places like Abeokuta. Some never found their families again. I searched for mine for years. I found no one. Freedom did not heal everything. It only stopped the bleeding. As I grew older, I watched the trade slowly change. Palm oil replaced people. The coast was called the Palm Oil Coast. Some African rulers resisted foreign control. I heard stories of King George of Apobo, a man once sold as a slave who rose to power and refused to kneel. The British exiled him. Power had changed faces, not methods. By the early 1900s, Britain took full control of the land. They said slavery was illegal. By law, yes. But in hearts, fear still lived. Then came a new name. Nigeria. I lived long enough to see flags rise and fall. To see hope during independence. To see disappointment when leaders forgot the people. To see division return in new forms. Now I sit by the river again. The same river that watched us live in chains now watches children play. That is my joy. That is my peace. We survived. Final advice to Nigerians: strong, clear, honest. My children, hear an old man. Nigeria is not broken because of slavery alone. Nigeria struggles because we repeat its lessons. We divide ourselves. We sell our conscience for small gain. We wait for saviors instead of becoming responsible. Where Nigeria is failing is simple: we reward greed and punish honesty. We protect tribe over truth. We forget that no foreign power can destroy us if we refuse to destroy ourselves. How do we fix it? Start small. Be fair where you have power. Teach your children truth, not hate. Demand leaders who serve, but also serve in your own place. Build institutions, not personalities. Remember that unity is not weakness. We were once chained because we were divided. Nigeria will rise only when we choose each other. The river remembers our pain. Let it now remember our wisdom. If you are listening to this story, then Nigeria still has a future.
Still loud, but we deaf to the sound. Labor no go waste, we go rise again. But first we must break the cycle, the strain. For me lie a ransom, Kuti fearless queen. Told the white man, no more taxing my women again. Margaret Tekbo mobilized the east with rage. Women from the market straight into history page. Anthony and Nahoro, courage in his tone. 1953 said, independence now alone. That motion shook change, shook colonial spine. Now we sell our votes cheap, salt, rice, and